Hello everyone, happy Saturday. How's everyone doing today? Today here has been an interesting day. We were getting all set to start today's video. We got some prep done, we got a few things pre-cooked just so the video would be a little bit faster. We went to wash up some dishes and the sink basically exploded on me. So I spent 3 hours trying to fix that. So now this video is, it's definitely my dinner, but it's really well past due because I am starving. I hope everyone is holding up okay in the current situation, that everyone has everything they need and they're safe, which is the most important thing. If you have to go out, take precautions, do what you have to. I want to see you coming back, and I want to see you coming back healthy, which is part of the reason I do these videos. Takeout and fast food is so laden with stuff that no one needs to eat, and when you can make it at home just as easy and just as fast and exactly how you want it, why would you bother paying somebody else to nourish you? So today's video, I figure, you know what, with everything going on in the world, with everything that's going on here, I really want to treat myself. And for me, a treat has always been a really good pizza. And some friends of mine were saying that they're somewhat traveling. They're on their way back, and one of their flights got canceled, and they're getting stuck in Chicago for a bit. And they said, "Oh, we're gonna get a pizza," and I was like, "Oh, Chicago deep dish pizza. Now that sounds like a plan." I've never made one before, so I actually looked up some other YouTubers, and all of them had some pretty crazy ideas. So I took concepts and principles, just like I hope you do from my videos. I don't give you direct recipes, but more techniques and ideas. And let's run with it, and let's try and make something really delicious. For those of you with a faint heart problems, health conditions, this might not be the pizza for you. And if so, I do recommend sharing it with like 10 of your closest friends, because this is going to be one heavy pizza. I'm not planning on eating this on one day. I actually have a friend over, and we are going to sit down and enjoy this. So let's get started. As always, I'm using my normal pizza dough. My normal pizza dough creates roughly a pound and a half, pound and 3/4 ball of dough. We're using the whole thing. I've cut it into 2 portions already. I've been already letting it bench proof because, well, the sink died. So it sort of proofed while I was doing everything. But before I get to the dough, there's one little bonus. I don't want to call it a bonus. There's an extra treat to this pizza. Now, this is something that I've had before when I was in Chicago. A very famous restaurant there does this to all their deep dish pizzas, so I had to do it to mine. What we basically have is, I've just got my cast iron fry pan. Okay, nothing special. If you want to go and invest in a special pan for this, you can. Just make sure it's a very heavy steel pan. Don't use aluminum, don't use glass. We want the weight. It has to conduct the heat. So this is why I love this recipe, and I love cast iron, as you all know. So I'm actually sitting down right now just because it was a little bit easier, so that the lights and everything didn't give me a halo effect and really look bad. So what I've got here is just some Parmesan cheese. I've already coated the fry pan with a thin layer of butter. And what I'm doing here is we're going to coat the fry pan without pouring it all over the floor with this Parmesan cheese. And what's going to happen as this pizza cooks, this cheese is going to caramelize and it's going to get a nice crust, and it's just going to add that extra layer of flavor to our pizza. So you can see all I've done, just like when you flour a pan before you bake a pie or something, exact same thing. This is just going to give me another layer of flavor. So we can get that aside. And then we have our dough. Now our dough has already risen. As I said, sorry that the camera's not in focus. So it's really nice and soft. Now I'll stand. I'll just adjust that a bit. Okay, sorry for getting the underside of my counter there, but I can only do so much. I do just want to get a little bit of flour on the dough and on the counter. And what I'm doing, we're knocking down some of the bubbles. We're also stretching out the dough. We don't want it super thick, but we don't want it so thin that everything is going to fall apart on us. So the main thing here, you want to try and keep it as even as possible, but when we start stretching this out more, it's got to be about 2 inches larger than the pan you're using. So if you're using a 12-inch cast iron fry pan or pizza pan, obviously it's got to be about 14 inches. It doesn't have to be exact. This isn't going out to a customer. This is going in our stomachs. So as long as we're happy, that's all that matters. I'm not having a glass. This is my normal rolling pin, as you know. So we're just going to give it a little bit of a rollout. Flip it over. If you feel it sticking, add a little bit more flour. Sorry, I shouldn't touch my eyes, I know, but I've washed my hands and I'm indoors and I have been all day. So I'm not worried that I have the virus. So as, like I said, just going to roll this out. Again, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Got a lot of bubbles in here, so then we're just going to stretch it out. And all I'm doing is I've made like a fist, and I'm towards the edge, and I stretch, stretch, stretch. Yes, I got a hole in it. I know, that's fine. Where we got our hole, we can just fold it over. And look, it's not there anymore. So I'm happy with that. We're going to bring in our fry pan. Sorry for hitting the camera. If any of you got motion sick, sorry. And just like working with a pie crust, we're going to drape this in and make sure it gets pushed into all the corners. And squish it on the sides. And that's really it. So we'll try and hold that up for the camera. So all we've done is line the pan with the pizza dough. Like I said, just like making a pie, sorry. But instead, I'm using a pizza dough instead of your traditional crust. For the overhang, you can just take your knife and along the edge of your pan, just give it a cut. And for those of you who are actually using cast iron, it'll actually sharpen your knife a little bit at the same time. We're just going for a nice clean edge. If you want the extra dough, leave it. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just going to put that to the side. Knock some of the extra cheese off my phone. And now comes the filling. And this is where a lot of people, when they're trying to make a deep dish pizza at home, sorry about the camera and how it keeps going in and out of focus. I think that might be a bit better. Well, let's try and adjust that a bit more. Like I say, today's a really weird day. Everything's been fighting me, so I don't see why the camera shouldn't be any different today. There. What a lot of people tend to make their mistake when they're trying to do a deep dish pizza at home is they'll put sauce right in the bottom of the pizza. And the camera won't focus now. Come on, catch up with me. Okay. Sorry about the quality of that. It's only so much I can do right now. What we are going to do to start this pizza off is, and it's the one thing I didn't bring out, couldn't even find it in the fridge. Oh boy. Today I am cheating. I've got some pre-grated mozzarella, but I know it's a good quality and it's gonna do what I need. But after everything today, I wasn't about to start grating a ton of cheese because this pizza, nothing's working today. The old saying, have you ever had a day like? Well, today the answer is yes. There we go. Because when you see all the amount of cheese we're going to use, you'll sort of understand why I went with a pre-sliced or pre-shredded cheese. We're going to put a good layer down there. Nice little base of cheese. Then we start. Well, this stupid camera today is going to drive me nuts. Focus already. It's trying. Really sorry, but I'm sure you still all get the idea. Next, we're going to lay some pepperoni. And you can put as much or as little of all these ingredients as you want. But normally a pizza pie, a deep dish, is an expression of everything that's right in the world and everything that's wrong in the world, all in the same spot. Next, we're going to add some Italian sausage. This is what I was actually cooking when I realized My sink was backing up. This was three big pieces of Italian sausage that I just took out of the casing like you've seen me do before, just like I did with the sausage and biscuit gravy. We're just going to spread that around. I need my towel, or a towel. This will do. Next, more meat. It's just some ground hamburger that, again, I cooked up. I seasoned with garlic. I wanted a little bit of heat, so I tossed some fresh jalapenos in there. Salt, pepper, really just a little bit of everything. And this was maybe a pound of meat. No, sorry, maybe half a pound of meat. And I can see some of the chunks of jalapeno in there. I just want to push that down. Hands another white. And yet again, some more cheese. So those of you who know me know how much I love my cheese. So now you understand why I love this pizza so much. So we're just going to move that off to the side. We're going to get a little bit more flour down. And out comes the second dough ball. We're gonna do this the exact same way we did the other one. I'm just gonna knock it all down. Roll it out. Well, this one the dough wasn't as thick as the other one. It wasn't, basically I want the dough on the top to be thinner than the dough on the bottom, if that makes sense to you. So I'm going to try and roll this out a little bit thinner. This is going to be the top to our pizza. I don't know if I should call this a pizza or a pie or a casserole, because in a way it is. All I know is it is absolute heaven. Again, just like before, with knuckles, we pull and stretch. If you want, you can do a toss. Or you can just drop it like I did. Thank God my counter was right there. This I'm going to stretch quite a bit thinner, like I said, than the other one. This pizza really is more about the toppings than anything else. So, in comes my pizza again. And we stretch that thinner crust right over the top. Okay. And go around. Well, as we get messages. Go around and pinch this. Poke a little hole in the middle. What that's going to do, first of all, is allow the steam to come out, and it won't bubble up as much. This crust won't bubble up as much. And once again, with our knife, just like topping a pie. can see what I mean, how I've poked a little hole there. The extra crust, I never throw away the leftover dough, goes into my bag, and I can use that on my next pizza. We're just going to make sure we have just a little bit of a lip, and all I'm doing for that is pulling some of the pizza dough up. So you've noticed I haven't put any sauce in this pizza yet. And those of you who've had a deep dish pizza know that the sauce on a Chicago deep dish is actually on top of the pie. So again, you can see here, I've got that little lip going. And for my sauce, I'm just using my standard tomato coulis that I always use. It's got a great flavor. It does everything I need it to do. And once again, it's all about purity. And this is nothing more than tomatoes and basil. That's it. All they've done is put it through a sieve, got all the seeds and the skin out of it, because those are the things that make tomato sauce seem bitter. And we're going to put that around. If some goes down the hole, not a problem. Does it have to be perfect? Nope. That's it. And guess what comes next? More cheese. So I had a 1 pound bag of cheese here. And as you can see, we've almost used it all. Well, you can't see, but take my word for it, I've almost used it all. This is going to help to hold that sauce in place. And just, again, it's going to get all cheesy and gooey and a little bit crispy. And that's it. So, I don't know who keeps messaging me, but they'll find out soon enough I was busy. So we have our completed pie. We stretched out a dough, we put in our cheese and our fillings, put another thin layer of dough on top of that, pinched it all up to make sure it was sealed. Then we put our sauce and our cheese. Before all this started, I turned my oven on to 450 degrees. This is now going to go in the middle rack, and it's going to cook for approximately 25 minutes. What I would say is after 20 minutes to check it, and if you have to, give it a spin in the oven or something. But what we're looking for is that outside crust to be a nice golden brown. So, let's get this in the oven. I'm starving, so I want to eat. Let's get this in the oven, and we'll see you all in about 25 minutes. So, till then. Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been 25 minutes, and the whole house smells so good. I've taken it out of the oven. I've loosened it up a little bit. Let's spin this camera around, and there we go. You can see how much it's risen out of the pan, and if you could just get a smell of how good this is. I can tell this is going to be great. Now, unfortunately, I know normally I'll cut into this, I will try it and everything, but this now has to set and rest for about another 15 minutes. And while I was filming this and doing everything, I got a phone call that I actually have to go out. So this is going to have to wait now till I get home. So you can see it wasn't hard to make. It took a little bit of time. The cooking was a little bit longer than normal. This isn't something you're going to have every day. At least I really hope not. But this, all we really need to do to finish this beautiful pizza off, a little sprinkle of some basil, and away we go. I'll have a picture of this posted probably as the thumbnail to the video when I do get a chance to cut into it. So I'm glad you stopped by. Like I said, this isn't how my videos normally are shot or go, but it's just been one of those days. It's one thing after another. But that's life. At least I know now when I get back, I have an incredible pizza waiting for me. As always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It lets me know that you like the content that I'm making and just helps me to want to make more and more videos for everybody. So, as always, my name is Andrew. I am the 5 p.m. chef. And until we meet again, enjoy.